Hello everybody, what is up? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to another little money diaries, money chat video. In my last video, I asked you guys if you'd be interested in seeing my current bank account setup. A lot of you guys were like, how do you divide business and personal? Just take us through your money flow process. So today I figured I'd break down my income sources, my bank accounts, my credit cards, my sinking funds, my savings account, all that kind of stuff for you guys. And I just want to put a big disclaimer out there that this is what works for me. I am a very detailed person. You guys might think I have too many savings accounts, and that's totally fine. This is just what works for me. You might want to do things in a more simplistic manner, but that just doesn't work for me. I'm someone who needs to see everything broken down. Someone who has one savings account and you see that $20,000 and you know 10,000 is your emergency fund, 5,000 is for vacation, and 5,000 is for car repairs. I'm not that person. I need things broken down, and so I wanted to share all the resources and things that I use today. So I'm really excited to take you guys along. And yeah, like I said, this is just what works for me. If you have something negative to say, just don't say it, because this is what works best for me. And I'm really happy with my system, and it's taken me a long time to have the confidence to talk about this because I know it does seem like a lot to some people, but I don't want this to overwhelm you. This is just what works for me. So let's jump into it, and we'll start with my income sources. So as you guys know, I have a corporate job. I also do YouTube. So recently in March, I switched from a full-time Monday to Friday corporate job where I was making $1,400 bi-weekly to a 0.6 corporate job, which is 3 days a week. And because of that, I don't have benefits and I don't have vacation. So I get in lieu of, I get a 14% in lieu of, and I'm actually on MATS benefits. So it works out, but I make $1,100 bi-weekly now, working 3 days a week. That came with a pay increase from my previous job, about $5 to $6 more an hour. And yeah, so my consistent income every 2 weeks is $1,100 bi-weekly from my corporate job. I also have a PRN part-time job, which PRN just stands for kind of as needed. So I have a PRN job at another hospital in their staffing and scheduling department, and I can kind of just pick up shifts as needed, honestly. Some months I work a lot and make $900. Some months I don't work at all. Last month I worked one shift and I made $179. Just kind of depends on the month. So I also have that. If I find I need, to work a little bit more, or I don't really have a ton of money coming in, I can pick up shifts over there. We come to content creation, which is my biggest source of income, but that varies also a lot. So my YouTube AdSense from 2022 numbers ranges from $3,000 to $7,000 a month, depending on the month, depending if I have any videos blow up, yada, yada, yada. It only varies a ton, but that's why I don't rely on that money to necessarily pay my bills. The even more variable income is brand deals and collaborations. Most brands are on a net 30 or a net 60, and some brands just take a while to pay you, and that's just what comes with working in content creation. So some months I can make no money, and some months I can make $6,000, $7,000 if I'm waiting on a ton of payments. So it really depends on the month. Okay, I think it's so important to have a consistent source of income, which for me is my corporate job. So those are all my income sources. I don't do affiliate links or anything like that. Yeah, hopefully that is a good place to start. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna break down my bank accounts for you guys. So I have technically two profiles, we'll call them. I have my personal and I have my business. I hope this is not confusing to you guys. So in my personal bank account, when I log into my bank, I have my personal bank account. This has a checkings account, which we'll get into after. I'll get more into the details. Long-term savings account, short-term savings account, and that is it for my personal. And it's tied to one credit card. That is my personal bank account. And I log out of that account and I log into a different account, and that is my business account. My business account has a checking account, as usual, and it has a savings account, which is my tax fund. I'll get, like I said, more into detail after. And this one also has a credit card linked to it. So those are the two breakdowns of my bank accounts. I want to say that I bank with RBC. I love them. This is not sponsored. I wish. My personal account. So my personal account has a checkings account. Everyone has a checkings account. This is my cash flow for my paychecks and my bills. I'm someone who likes to have a buffer. There is so many different ways to have a checkings account. Some people don't have more than $300 in it. Some people keep all their money in it. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I personally found that I was really anxious if I had less than $1,000 in it. So I try and keep a buffer in there, especially since I'm making a lower amount bi-weekly with my corporate job. And YouTube income isn't consistent. So I have a buffer of $2,000 in my checkings account. So that means my account should always be above $2,000. That's just what is comfortable for me. It's going to be different for everyone. I used to be the kind of person who could not have money in my checkings or I'd spend it, but obviously improved my money relationship since then. So I actually still have the RBC Advantage Banking for Students. So it has no monthly fee, I don't believe. And that's just because I'm in grad school. So I'm technically still a student. I just want to put a disclaimer that once again, everything is personal. My emergency fund could be in a higher savings account than the one it's in, but I personally feel the most comfort in having it in this bank account in case I need it immediately, and I'm not like having it in like a internet bank, like I'm waiting like 3 business days to get it if I need it. This is just what works for me. I have my savings account, which I'll put the name of it right here. That has $10,000 in it. That is my emergency fund. I'm not touching that money unless I absolutely need it. It's for emergencies only. There might come a time where I'll use it for home renovations and then replenish it. But for right now, it's kind of more of like my emergency fund. Then I have another savings account, which I'll put right here. And that's my short-term savings account. And this is used for a variety of reasons. This is currently being used as a vacation fund. So I have money in there for our vacation that we're taking next week. It can be used to purchase anything from a large purchase like saving for a fridge or something, but it's used differently than my emergency fund. This money is meant to be used and it usually has a specific purchase, whether it's car tires or a trip or anything non-business related that we could need. That is what that account is for, and that account is constantly going up and down depending on what we're buying. So that is the different savings and checkings account linked to my personal bank. And then I also have a credit card. So this bank account has the RBC Avion Infinite credit card attached to it, which is new. I actually just closed down my 2 other credit cards. I talked a bit about this on my March Money Diaries video, but I basically wanted a credit card that I could use for any airline. With my business credit card, I'm tied to WestJet, which is totally fine. Could use for any airline and redeem the points in a variety of ways. So this is still a travel credit card. It's not a cashback credit card. My annual fee is $120. My interest rate is the normal 19.99%. And I'm just going to read you guys some of the details. So currently right now, if you sign up, you get 35,000 welcome points, which is a value of $750 if you apply by April 18th, 2022. Y'all are always asking me how I can travel on a budget, and it's because I sign up for cards when they have good deals. Earn 1 reward point for every dollar you spend, and there's no blackout periods or seat restrictions ever. It does require a minimum personal income of $60,000 or a household income of $100,000. That's personally why I chose that credit card. I also am in the process of looking into Amex's, but we'll talk about that later. So that's the credit card that I use for all of my everyday purchases, like groceries, all that kind of stuff. Then we're going back to my business account. So my business account has a checkings account, just like my personal account, and that is a cash flow account. So that's where AdSense comes in, brand deals come in, money goes out, etc. My business I do differently. I leave all of that money in there. I do not touch that money. I also have a savings account, which that I put aside 20 to 30% of all my brand deals. That goes into for when tax season comes. I don't have to worry about AdSense because YouTube takes it out automatically. That business account, I'm not really paying bills or anything. That money is staying there. And then I have a business credit card, which that one is the WestJet RBC World Elite MasterCard. So that has a annual fee of $119. It's a 19.99% purchase interest rate. And when you sign up, you get 450 welcome dollars, so $450 in WestJet points. You get a round trip companion voucher for $0, so that means that the person flying with you does not pay for their flight except for taxes. And you can get status lift. So this is 1.5% cash back in WestJet dollars when you use it, and 2% cash back in WestJet flights. So the reason I kept this credit card and also my Avion is because I'm kind of getting like a 2-for-1 deal. Like I can use my WestJet voucher, fly for free, and then when I use that up, if we go on another flight, I can just use my Avion points. Because my business credit card, I'm making big purchases like a new camera, a new lens. Those are typically bigger purchases for my write-offs, trips, etc. I redeem those WestJet dollars super quick, and it just makes sense for me to keep that as my business credit card. So I technically have 2 travel credit cards, and that will allow us to travel free twice as often because we have 2 of them going on. So this credit card is on auto pay every month. So with your checking account, like your normal one, you're paying bills, money's kind of coming and going. with my business one, I check it about every I'd say maybe every week actually. And at the end of the month, this business credit card is on auto pay, so it just pays off from that business account. There's no normal number that's in my business account because some months I don't get paid, some months I do. And then from there, if I ever want to pay myself, I just e-transfer myself from my business account to my personal account. But typically that money stays there. I like to put business back into the business. Those are all of my bank accounts tied to my physical bank, which is RBC. I have a few miscellaneous ones just because I love to try new things out. So I use the app Mocha. This is not sponsored. It's a round up and save app. So if you link it to your bank account, it will round up your purchases or automatically deduct money every week or two. So I have 2 sinking funds through here. There are 2 TFSAs. I have a pet emergency fund and also a Christmas sinking fund for presents. So these currently take out each $20 every 2 weeks. And then it also rounds up my purchases for my credit cards and stuff. So the pet emergency fund is always over $500. And then my Christmas sinking fund has a goal of $1,000 by November of 2022. So it pulls money every month. So that's what those accounts look like. I also, you guys know, love Neo Financial. I have a savings account through them, which I have a Neo savings account, which earns 1.3% interest. And this is like directly tied to my Neo credit card. So it's kind of like a bank almost. And that Neo savings account has our home fund. So you guys know we always have a $500 or so home spending account, and that's just for like upgrading furniture, finding things on Facebook Marketplace, etc. So that always has $500 in it, and I will replenish that as needed. A cashback credit card, which is a MasterCard. So typically I use my Neo cashback credit card for like home purchases and stuff because I usually get a lot of cashback on that, and then I'll just pay it off with the Neo savings account. So that's kind of how I distinguish the credit cards, if that makes sense, but it's just what works for me, and I love trying multiple things. I don't know why. I also have a TFSA through Wealthsimple. I just prefer the Wealthsimple platform, and that is an automated $100 every 2 weeks, and I'm at a high risk level for investing since I am young. So I typically automatically put $200 a month into there. And then if I can, I try and round that up to $500 a month. So I try at the end of the month, if I have any extra money, even from like the business, etc., I'll pay myself out usually $300 and put that into my TFSA. So on a monthly basis, I invest usually around $500 into there. I also do single stock trading, but I'm not going to get into that in this video. And yeah, so those are all of my different bank accounts and kind of like my cash flow and how that kind of all works out. If you guys want more in-depth information on like my payday routine, my weekly money routine, I'll have all those videos linked down below for you guys. But that is just kind of like my cash flow system. It's what works for me being a business owner and also just like being a personal bank account owner. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them down below. I love chatting with you guys about money, and give this video a big thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't either. So close to 50K, or maybe by the time you guys watch this, we'll be at 50K because I don't know when this is going up. I film a lot of finance, productivity, lifestyle, getting through life in your 20s, unfiltered content, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye!